don't let not knowing how to do something stop you from doing the thing. Do more yourself. I think I think it works really well, but you need to know something about you. If you are someone who's going to do it all and then burn out and resent everything and quit, you need at least someone to help you.
Yeah.
And if that's someone doing your groceries and your laundry, okay, great.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the refreshingly authentic convo I had with Ripley Rader in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. You're going to have to listen to this. First of all, I just love her.
Yeah, it's definitely worth listening to.
Oh my
She's
God,
rad.
I want to talk to you every day is really what I want to do. And I feel like we could be sisters.
Yeah,
and
y'all even look alike. It's true.
I really do. I think that I want to see her in real life because I just want to take a selfie and see if we really do look like we're related or if it's just the red hair and the big lips. So anyways, so we're going to into this interview recap in just a moment. Before we do, today is July 6th, which is Virtually Hug a Virtual Assistant Day. And thanks team. I really hope that virtual hugs hit all of my team members on this day, and I probably will forget to do it.
We're gonna virtually hug.
Yes. Our entire team is virtual, so and they're not all assistants, but they all assist us in many ways. So big hugs to all of them. But you should hug your VA virtually as well today. And if you're listening to this on a different day, you can send a belated hug. It's always good to have a hug.
It's true.
This weekend.
Was that like a trumpet announcement?
It really was trying to be something that it didn't turn to be.
Yeah. Okay.
That sort of like Star Wars, and I don't want to get sued. Anyways, we have the OPC summer camp weekend. You guys,
it's coming up this weekend. In 2 days.
Talk about like we are. I'm so excited. It's going to be like what do you call it? We're going to have our computers out. We are the central zone. We're the producers of this entire weekend.
We are the producers.
What is that called? When you're the back of the house, we're the back. Anyways,
we're the virtual assistants.
Yes, we
people.
are.
For our teachers.
So our OPC teachers and contributors are putting on some incredible workshops and workouts. You can check them all out at the opc.me/event page. It's the first time we're doing multiple in a weekend. And to be honest, we just wanted to have a big
multiple workshops and workouts. Yeah, this is a 2-day event. This is the first time we're doing that.
And you don't need to be on Zoom with us all day long. You can buy the ones that intrigue you, skip the ones that don't, or buy them all and watch them in your own time. Does not have to be this weekend. However, if you buy them before we go live, there's always a special price. So just know that.
It's true.
So all the OPC teachers have their own individual specialty workshops. And then we have a team workshop on Sunday, which is all about the teaser. And we're going to do a deep dive on how to help you with the teaser, because so many people hit flexor it out. They're like doing Navasana.
Me included.
Yeah. Their toes are too high. Their quads are too strong. And they're like, I don't like this. And it's actually not a peak pose, but it's a very great thermometer exercise in Pilates, barometer exercise. It tells us.
Thermometer.
Yeah. Well, it just tells you, I believe it tells you what you need to work on. But hey, that's me. So at any rate, you'll want to check out that and get your tickets at opc.me/event.
Don't wait up on that.
Well, because once we're live, it's full price. So just there's your threat. Okay. And then we're really soon going over to UK.
Yeah.
UK. And it's so exciting. We have the mullet tour. So business workshops in the morning, Pilates workshops in the afternoon.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Freaking stoked about this. If there are any seats left, you can find them at opc.me/UK. But last time I checked, we only had 3. So by the time this is, there might be sold out, but you should check, because, this will be our last time in the UK for a bit. We'll come back, but I don't know when. Then we come back from the UK, we kick some ass with our elevators, and then we are packing up the van with the dogs.
This is in August.
Yes, August, the month, not our dog, but we're also bringing him.
His ears just moved.
I know.
He's like, I heard my name.
What is it? Anyways, we are going to be rocking it up through California and Oregon up to Seattle.
On our West Coast summer tour.
Yes, we are. We have, we kicked off the sales with 12 events, which is, I think it's the most amount of opportunities we've had. It's
officially the most we've ever
decided
to put in to
I know.
Tour.
Yeah, into
it's
a tour.
Definitely going to be a whirlwind because we're also doing it in only 15 days, I think.
Yep.
Normally we have 3 weeks and we do less cities, so
it's gonna
dedicated.
You know what? I am asking the team. I want, when I leave the van each day, I want the city to I want to have the city in front. I know where I am. So when I come in, I don't go, "What's up?" Wrong city. I want to be touch the city. I'm so excited, you guys. This is actually a lot of fun. So we're hitting up some of those exotic cities. We're hitting up Redlands.
Exotic.
And Long Beach.
That's how they think of themselves.
Yes,
Exotic.
We're also going to be in Bakersfield. What? And Fresno area. That's also called the Central Valley.
Yep.
We're going through Sacramento and then all the way up through Oregon to Seattle is probably it actually has an airport. So there's that.
Yeah. And we're looking at other cities too, to add to this tour, other locations like Spokane, Washington.
Well, at the time that this is dropping, are we really still adding more?
Hopefully we've already dialed all that in.
Yeah.
So
I'm a human being.
Just go to opc.me/tour. And you can see the tickets will already be available. So if you're in any of those, we're even looking at St. George, Utah. So if any of those cities are where you're listening from or near, come meet us in person. We'd love to hang out. It'd be so fun.
And also because the West Coast, let's just say it, it's space is expensive out there. So that means that there's limited spaces in each of our classes and workshops, which means they're going to be nice and intimate, which means I can spend a lot of time with you. I cannot wait to teach you, to work with you.
It also means there aren't that many tickets.
That's AKA there's not a lot of spots.
Yep. Yeah. So join us on that, opc.me/tour. September, we're going to Poland. And there's a conference there. It's a Contrology conference, Balanced Bodies participating. Go to contrologypilatesconference.com to grab a ticket for that. And then October, we're going back to Cambodia. And y'all know how much we absolutely love being in Cambodia.
Oh, my God.
We already have an epic group coming with us, and you should join.
Brad's sister, also our project manager, is bringing her new husband. And it's not their honeymoon, but kind of. And so we're Sam and I, my assistant, we're trying to plan their flights. And I was you'll have to ask them when they're going to fly out. But if they don't want to fly out till this day, maybe I ain't got a bat and bong with them while Brad works.
Oh, jeez. You're leaving me in the dust over here.
Literally, because it is a little dusty. But you guys, this is Cambodia is a special place in this world. You must visit it at some point in your life. And honestly, you may as well spend a week there and get to know yourself more, get to explore these temples in a way that no one else does. If you go on a regular tour, they put you on a bus, they hit it and quit it. We explore, we take our time, and our tour guides, they know how to use your phone better than you do. You're going to post amazing photos. I swear to God, you are not when we run into people who've been on our retreats, they're oh my gosh, Peach taught me this. And so I've been doing this with my phone. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Make sure you come. Go to leslielogan.co/retreat to snag one of the last spots.
Okay, now let's talk about Ripley Rader. With 10 years of experience, Ripley Rader is a visionary fashion designer who fearlessly challenges norms and empowers women through her unique creations. Her authentic approach and unwavering dedication have made her a true trailblazer in the fashion industry.
Okay, I get to talk first. Okay, so I'm not kidding. Like when she came across our like application thing, I literally responded to the, I was like, is this the Ripley Rader whose pants I keep clicking on the ads just so that they keep showing them to me? Cause I love being cookied. Like cookies are my favorite thing about the internet. And I like all of the ads cause I want to make sure they keep serving them to me. Because I never want to miss what her new stuff is. So she's as cool. She's cooler than what I expected. But honestly, like sometimes you like look up to these business people and you're like, I don't know if they're going to be like that in real life. And then sometimes you meet them and you're like, oh, don't meet your heroes. This is a hero. Fuck yeah. I want to party with. I want to hang out with. I want to like go shopping in her closet. So one of the things that I loved that she talked about was you can't chase the money because that is a cheap chase. So she's actually more committed to chasing growth. And she is focused on why she does this, which is that she wants women to feel like a boss in their clothes. And she really believes that she can help reach all the women to feel more armored up and sexier. It's the better, right? So she's so much more focused on that goal. And then the money comes, which it kind of goes to, we'll have an episode with Roy Vaden coming up and he talks about that too. It's like, so I don't want to talk about what he says, but like it's really important. I think it's really easy when you have bills to pay, when you're like money's going out and not a lot coming in to like start going, okay, well, we can get money over here. And it's like every time we've chased money, we have been like, well, that bit us in the ass.
You know.
So she also expressed in her beliefs in empowering women to give them permission to express themselves confidently. And for example, she says like it's like people are more likely to say that they're fat. Like I'm fat. Oh, I don't look good in this. Like everything. Like oh my gosh. Like in fact, I had a client come to the house. She was visiting, and like there was some things she was saying about herself, and I was like, you have to stop saying that here. That actually is not acceptable.
Yeah.
And it's like it needs to become more common knowledge, and this is what she said, to say I'm gorgeous. Like, why can't we just say I look good? And why, if you say I look good, is that like considered an arrogant thing, or oh my gosh, that person's like really full of themselves, or
it's like, you know, it's somehow like, oh, I look like shit today is accepted, where I look like a badass today is not.
Well, you know what? I just want to say this. This is like total side note. I was working on like doing a keynote speech, and the coach was like, okay, we'll have a self-deprecating comment. And I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? And they're like, self-deprecating, it allows you to relate to other people. And I was like, why on earth should I be going out and going, oh, I just tripped and fell on my face. Like, like I couldn't grasp, but like I don't like that self-deprecation actually allows us to be more human around people. We can also be like, I feel really awesome in my outfit today. I look really good. And wouldn't it be awesome if that was so normal? Someone goes, you do look great. And by the way, I love this shirt that I'm wearing. What if we just walk around going, I love this shirt that I'm wearing. I love this shirt that I'm wearing. And then people go, yeah, me
right.
too.
We commiserate with the positive instead of commiserate with the negative.
Yes, we've started doing that because
I had the worst night's sleep. Oh, me too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How about instead I had the best night's sleep? Oh, me too.
And even if you had the worst night's sleep, you can go, you know what? I had the best cup of coffee. Like, what if we commiserate around positive stuff? It's been really fun. Not when this episode's coming out, but prior to, we're recording this on June 22nd, and we still have not hit 100 degrees in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so crazy. And the commiseration of positivity every time we see people like, can you believe this weather? Yeah. Is this weather not so
Random
amazing?
People who we don't know. Everyone's like, this is so good.
This is so amazing. And then, of course, there's every once in a while someone who's like, oh, just think of how it's going to be in the other end. It's like, why are you saying that? So I just want to say there's enough of you listening that if we can actually start like admitting a positive aspect around ourselves that we do like, and that there is something about you that you do like, and we could start saying that rather than like this old thing, oh, this thinks you look fat, oh, I'm fat. Fuck off all that stuff. You are beautiful the way you are. And I know that person left here rethinking the words coming out of her mouth, and I'm so fucking proud about that. So anyways, what did you love that she said? I
really loved that she said the only person she's competing against in the fashion industry is herself.
I thought that was really, I'm so glad she shared that.
Yeah. And you know, it goes back to the bigger is not necessarily better. Like that you were mentioning what lights her up. She's chasing growth, but she had this really interesting comment that growing the company doesn't necessarily mean more money. And that's interesting. That's very interesting to me because, if the only person you're competing against is yourself, then it allows that like, well, they skyrocketed to the moon, and how come we're just, the little engine that's plodding along, and we're not seeing that quote unquote hockey stick effect of growth, right? But if you're comparing you to you, then you just need to be better than you did before.
It's like
right?
Einstein Jr. It's like, am I a percentage closer
One
to the
percentage better every day.
every day?
Yeah.
Was it? Did she and I talk about this? Like, you would hear, I would hear people say like, oh, I had a 6-figure launch. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you find out that they spent $90,000
Right.
on ads. And so they made
you didn't talk about this.
$100,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll hear people like, you'll think people are skyrocket, or you'll think they're king of the mountain that you're trying to climb. However, you don't actually know the expenses that they are doing to make those things happen. And something that blows my mind is like, you'll hear people say I had this six-figure launch. They had $100,000 launch, but then they spent $90,000 to get there. So they made $10,000.
Right.
So if I spent $1,000 and I had a $35,000 launch,
or even a $11,000 launch, you made the same 10
we
grand.
made the same $10,000. So technically we're on the same fucking mountain.
Right.
So I think it's just really important that if you do only compare yourself to yourself, you don't get distracted. And going back to like commiserating about negative stuff, we always put people on pedestals.
Yep.
And they don't put themselves on that pedestal. You put them there.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's just...
I really loved her attitude towards, the people who are like actually competition technically for her. She said, yeah, I guess we're all fighting for the same dollars in some ways, but her respect for them is so deep that she feels more than competition. That it actually gives her like a camaraderie, like that they're all in it together.
Well, and also like, here's the thing. If you see someone in your industry having success, making money, it
should be a very good inspiration for you.
It means it's possible for you.
Exactly.
If you are in a place where you don't see anyone having success,
yeah,
that is probably a sign you should get. It's like you're in the fax machine industry. If you're the best,
I got this new idea.
You know what I mean? You have to see the people that are achieving things that you wish were your achievements as inspiration of what's possible for you, and almost like it's opening the doors, because it
also reduces that community, like that competition thing. When you're not like, first off, you're not beating yourself up for not quote unquote being where they are, whoever they are.
Yeah.
And secondly, it actually shifts everything. Instead of being an enemy, they can become community, a friend.
Yeah.
Right. So we're super big on community, not competition.
Oh my gosh.
If you can look at the other people who are, many of the people listening to this are in the Pilates world, and y'all know that we are facing this unbelievable uphill battle of like negativity and like this fear-based decision making inside of our own community, where people feel like, oh my God, you're gonna take my clients, like fuck you, I'm never gonna be your friend.
Oh,
it's the weirdest thing.
There's studio owners who are treating their staff like they're already going to steal from them, and then and the staff is feeling like they're not respected by or trusted, and so no one is actually excited to be there.
Yeah.
And it's
we are anti that attitude altogether, and we truly do believe that every single person out there who's teaching and running a small business, there are enough clients to make the money that you want to make. And here's the other crazy thing. What she mentioned, and I'm listening to a book right now that's talking about the same thing, called Profit First, is why grow your business? What is this idea of growth, right? And like growth just for growth's sake. Okay, cool. So you had $100,000 in sales, but you spent 90 of it to get there, or you had maybe a modest $20,000 in sales, but you only spent $1,000 to get there. You made 19, they only made 10, right? Wouldn't you rather have more profit, more growth in that area than like just growth for growth's sake, right? And so
I think that also makes me think of like the psychology of money. It's like, that's a great book as well. So we have to get both these authors on. However, it's true. Like you need to know why you're growing and then focusing on like, I think also like you learn a lot about yourself when you go into business. So
well, with that idea in mind, when we're looking at our quote unquote competition out there, and if we're happy with our business and what it is that we're doing and we are making the money that we want to make, yes, of course, we should still continue to pursue growth. But, instead of like freaking out that they, are growing at a different rate than we're still in a good position and we're enjoying what we're doing and we're growing,
Yeah.
and we also, like you said earlier, might not have all the big pieces of the equation. They might be growing because they gave 50% of their company to a private equity firm who gave them $2 million and said, go spend it on ads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't know. I think I just want to bring up this one point that's on yours is like she prioritizes her mental health by setting boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you are aware that when you see other people having success, you're having this like green-eyed monster come out.
Right.
You don't have to block them, but you can mute them and give like these apps now allow you to mute people for 30 days or like whatever. And like you can still be cheering them on as a follower, but like not actually facing it because look, let's be real. There are certain times of my year where I'm like, honestly, I'm exhausted and I'm been struggling to get this thing to be finished and you look like you finished 3 things. It's not you, it's me. And I'm going to mute you because you're not bringing me joy right now. But I want to have joy for you. So I need to like put you over there so I can cheer you on. So it's okay to like prioritize your mental health and understand where you are in your space so that you can show up for yourself and strengthen that muscle where when you see other people having success, you can cheer them on. Like if you're not in that space, acknowledge that and then go work on that without it being in your face.
Yeah. 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 She did talk about that stepping back, emphasizing that doing so doesn't mean that you don't love those people or that you love them any less. It just means that you are prioritizing yourself right now. You're vulnerable and that's, it's okay. We go through phases.
Yeah. I mean, like it doesn't have to be business. Like, oh my gosh, if you like are in a recent breakup and the people around you getting engaged, of course you're excited for them. And like, you're like, I'm excited for you,
Right.
But like, it's okay to be like, to grow. Oh, this is a sign of something that I want for myself.
Sure.
And so go look into that and explore that and put it in your journal. And, you don't have to like make it a big deal. But anyways, couldn't get enough of this. I could have let this interview go on longer. I just freaking loved her. And I hope I get to hug her in real life.
Yeah, totally. So finally, let's talk about those beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Ripley Rader? She said something that I like, but I also, I'm 50-50 on this one, but she said, do more yourself.
Oh.
And I'm like, I think that it's great to get started by doing more yourself, but I think that we should put boundaries even on that, or you end up in the Enneagram 3 loves to sit, meaning myself, of I'll just do it all myself. Right. And so I think like I want to kind of put a little bit of a box around this, do more yourself, get the project started yourself, understand it and decide if it's something that you really need, and then figure out how to replace yourself in that project. But she's talking about embracing that DIY mindset. And in her case, it was the website. And she said, I built my own website. I knew I only had to build it one time. And I was like, people told me, oh, you can't do that. And she's like, well, I sure can. And they did. They built it. Now, I have a feeling today she probably has people on her team who help her maintain that website, who help her add new products to that website. But when she was originally getting started, she did it herself.
I agree. I actually didn't mind the do more yourself. I do think that some of our listeners that they will just do it all themselves and then they overwhelm themselves and then they don't know how to let go.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But I do think that like what becomes an obstacle for a lot of people getting started is they're like, oh my God, the website's going to be so expensive. Oh my God, this is going to be so expensive. And so they put obstacles. So I think
from that perspective too, well, I have to hire someone to build my website. That's $5,000. Then I have to hire someone to do this. Then that's this. Like, not necessarily. You can do these things yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important if you are someone who has not taken on this idea that you have because you are waiting to have the money or to meet the person who can do the thing. I love it. Do more yourself. If you are Brad, hire more people.
Yeah, it's true. I'm the opposite. I have the tendency to never let go of things, and so it's actually
He becomes the bottleneck. That's what we call him.
I became the bottleneck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what I really did appreciate about what Ripley said is that if you feel called to do it, you're probably intrinsically positioned to do the job.
I also think that that's true. I think sometimes we see things and we're like, oh, I don't have the skill set. Like somebody was DMing me yesterday, like, well, I don't, because they want to open a studio. And like, well, I don't even know how to do that. And I was like, you're going to figure it out. You want to do this thing. People who are not as smart as you have done it before. So like, don't let not knowing how to do something stop you from doing the thing. Do more yourself. I think I think it works really well, but you need to know something about you. If you are someone who's going to do it all and then burn out and resent everything and quit, you need at least someone to help you.
Yeah.
And if that's someone doing your groceries and your laundry, okay, great.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay. So she actually talked about like, don't be afraid it's kind of like, don't be afraid to do things on your own. So like there's do more yourself. And then also on your own, I find a lot of people want to have a business partner.
Oh yeah. A
lot. Y'all, that's a marriage. And I think that is like there's imposter syndrome there. And it's like, well, they want the accountability there. So she was like, don't be afraid to take something on. It might not be great or perfect, but you'll get it done and you'll learn from it. And then the next time they'll get more perfect or be better. Yeah. And you shouldn't deter from taking action. You can gain valuable insights and there's knowledge. Every failure in air quotes we've ever had has provided so much. In fact, the biggest launch we ever had taught us very little. I will say,
the biggest launch told us that we could do that.
We could do it,
but like the process of launching,
no,
like, it was a mess.
And also,
I'm
like,
sure I didn't sleep for a week.
When we have like had things that we thought would go well do badly, we're like, oh, well, we didn't name like the messaging. Let's look at the messaging. Let's look at this, and it forced us to look at things and see like where we could have done better. And then we've been better because of it. But the things that like just nailed it, they actually taught us very little. And so when they stop working, we don't know what to fix. And so I really am with her. Like, it's really cool to first of all, it's okay to go it alone. Like, you can be the business person. I don't care if you don't think that you're a leader. You are. Everyone's born with these skill sets. Go to Strength Finders, and they found that there's not one type of person that makes up a leader. It's actually just how you use your skill sets. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid. And then it's okay. You'll hire people when you're ready, but you will learn more from making mistakes. And if you are like, no, I want to wait till I find a person who I just met on the street and they have the same goal as me, and now we're going to be in business together. Whew, good luck.
I'll tell you, I mean, it's like, from the entrepreneur in me says to make the mess yourself, and then go back and clean it up, make it a systematic approach, and then replace yourself in that process, right? Because here's what we're talking about here. Don't be afraid to do things on your own. One of the biggest takeaways of me trying to figure out our bookkeeping is that now I can have an intelligent conversation with our bookkeepers.
Yeah.
Like, I know what they're talking about. They know what I'm talking about. I can make a suggestion. Like, we can actually have an intelligent conversation. Am I a bookkeeper? I'm not a very good bookkeeper, but at least I understand the process now.
Yeah, I think so. I love that. Ripley, you're phenomenal. Thank you so much for being you. And you guys, I really honestly, like, I thought her pants came on on the radar, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and that she like just took off. And then in the conversation, I discovered that like she sold them at Fred Siegel. You guys, Fred Siegel back then, this is like, she's been around a long time working her ass off to get the fame that she's at right now. And so you guys...
In fact, there's an entire Forbes article about her saying, I'm the 10-year overnight success.
Yes.
Yeah.
So truly, anytime you think someone's an overnight success, there is an entire iceberg below the surface you've not seen where they've just been
I loved
away.
her analogies. She said, we call ourselves the ducklings. because on the pond, on the surface, we all just look like our heads are looking around, but underneath we're frantically moving our feet. And she said, it's not fear-based, stress-based, but we're working our asses off down there.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
So hard. I thought that was great.
Yes, a fellow duckling right over here.
Yeah.
Ripley, thank you so much. Everyone, how are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know, and we want you to tag us. I want you to tag the Be It Pod, tag Ripley Rader, and tell her what your takeaways were. I know she'll love reading them. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Kroll.
Until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Kroll.
It is produced and edited by the epic team at Diseño.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals and Samena Velazquez for our transcriptions.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all the content to our website, and finally to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.